Hi, everyone. Welcome to another exciting edition of Words, Images, and Worlds. Delighted to be having a second chat with author John Jackson Miller. It's actually like our third chat or something like that because we met in person once upon a time, but glad to talk with you anytime.
Glad to be here.
Glad to have you. We're talking about Batman Revolution and as well as any other work you'd like to mention. And just finished reading the book. Very much enjoyed it. There it is. There it is.
Yep.
Yeah. How does it
Uh,
feel to have this out in the world?
yeah, I mean, that's the Revolution is the longest book I've ever written, so it's 150,000 words, just about, uh, just shy of 550 pages. It is, with book one, it comprises, basically a 950-page story. What we set out to do, a duology. Tim Burton did two movies. We did two books. In the comics, they've done two graphic novels. And the idea all along has been to basically take that area in between the two films and populate it with characters that would be familiar from Batman's Rogues Gallery and some other parts of the lore, but to do it in a way that feels like 1989, 1990, 1991 in terms of what else is going on in Gotham City. The idea has always been Tim Burton's characters never left Gotham City except to go to the mansion and the Batcave. Um, we didn't either. We do, explore the ideas of things going on outside of Gotham City in the same way that they do in the movies. Corto Maltese, which is brought into the first book, or the first book, the first movie, that pops up in Revolution in a more substantive way, and then just various other things. But the idea has always been to take the tableau that was presented to us as Gotham City, as this mythical land, this place that no one had ever seen before. It shows up in Anton Furst's design
Mm.
in the first movie, and I think it is it's a distinct version of Batman. Also with other choices that Burton made and the screenwriters made and that Keaton made and the characters made. So that you can tell a kind of a story here that is maybe not one you can tell in other kinds of Batman continuity or other types. So I was really happy with what we were able to do, and I'm really glad it's out there for the world.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And uh, I'm going to give a compliment to your deep cuts. There are lines that made me laugh as I was reading it. There were lines where I thought, oh, he pulled this directly from Batman Returns. There's a
Yeah.
reference there, the conversations and things like that. So you clearly spent a lot of time in this mythical land as well.
Well, there are a lot of places where there are lines that are half echoes.
Hmm.
Where you don't want to just be name dropping or not name dropping, but pulling lines left and right from things. I've got a bad feeling about this in Star Wars or whatever.
Right.
But you do get things that have sort of a similar construction. Early on in Revolution, uh, uh, you know. Uh, Max Schreck is talking about the history of Gotham City, and he says, "If you don't know the history, shame on you." And again, that
Hmm.
shame on you is just a little, a little line that is, too much power. Shame on you. You could never have too much power. They're little bits and pieces here and there that are pulled in. Um, and things that are made to actually sound like the characters, and ring some bells, whether you know it or not, or whether you notice it or not. Again, Max Schreck again is played by Christopher Walken
Mm,
in the films, and so I have no compunction about pulling a line here and there that Walken may have said someplace else.
mhm, mhm,
Because at one point in the book, Max is complaining about the Riddler's little crack 'em ups, and that is a line. That is a word that Walken said in one of his Saturday Night Live monologues. And it's just a weird word, crack 'em ups, meaning
mhm.
meaning comedy bits. And again, if that hits your ear and makes you think him, without being overly into his dialogue from other things, that works for me.
Oh, I love it. Love it. And you mentioned the Riddler there. I was reading through this thinking about you have this human character, this pathos. There's malice there as well. What was your inspiration? What were you keeping in mind with your Riddler?
Well, what we're always trying to do is you know match the Burton style, and the Burton style includes having sort of this bit of tragedy that is connected to these characters' origins. There's comedy to it, but there's also tragedy. I mean, it's don't forget your lucky deck.
Right, right.
And of course, he's anything but lucky that night. The Joker is. And what I wanted to do with the Riddler is show a character who was very much, I was holding up a mirror to Bruce Wayne, somebody who had his, deductive skills, his knowledge, more knowledge, in fact, his abilities as a detective. Um, and somebody who also had a lineage. He didn't come from nowhere or nobody. I mean, his parents could have in their time been Thomas and Martha Wayne, or just as popular or just as famous. But things happen, and history happens, and history lands on him and his family, and it gives him a grudge against history. It gives him a grudge against Gotham City. It gives him a grudge against the others who are succeeding when he's failed. And yeah, I think it's really important to note that our character, for Revolution, is present, more than present. He is integral to Batman Resurrection, the first book.
Mhm,
These two books, very much form a single story in a sense. I remember hearing a couple of people say, "Well, it's just very weird that you would drop in that character for the scenes that we have in Resurrection," and it's like, yeah, we're not even remotely done. Uh,
mm,
this is this is important to show that this is a character who has inhabited Gotham City and has been active longer than Bruce Wayne has been Batman. And he's been doing what he's been doing longer than Bruce Wayne has been Batman. And definitely he approaches Batman as not a rival necessarily, but as an ally, as a possible ally. And then things happen.
they do. They do. You mentioned the comics, the Batman '89 series. I'm curious about the degree that you've worked with Sam Hamm and Joe Quinones, who are both responsible for work on that series as well. Have you interacted with them around the stories?
I got a really nice note from Sam. Joe has been very connected to things we've been doing because We brought them in, or we brought him in to do the designs for posters that we did promoting the two books. So he did his version of our Clayface based on my specifications. He did another one based on our Riddler, and from the beginning, this all started with us talking with with Random House, my editor Tom Holler at Random House. We started with talking with Warner Brothers licensing and also DC's staff, DC's editor on those comics about what was going on in the comics, what would be happening in the comics. It was in those conversations that I decided, hey, let me actually take um, this series in a different direction instead of being in the middle of all of the continuity that they're generating after Batman Returns. I said, let me go right up there against the movie, the thing that most people have seen, Batman, and I'll put my stories there. But that still meant that I needed to connect with them about what was coming up because the Batman Echoes series was in production the entire time that I was working on the book, and I mean really right up to the end. I needed to get the last issue to make sure none of the dialogue had changed in the way that I had finessed our Riddler and their Riddler and various other things that didn't necessarily fit during that period where Revolution wasn't out there. And I can say that now that Revolution is out there, it should all fit seamlessly. And in fact, I think we may have made it so one character who doesn't appear to survive the comics does. So
Yeah. Well, having read both, having read the comics and your books, wonderfully done to the entire team. It comes
thank
together
you.
really nicely, and it's a great revisit. Lots of wonderful surprises there that I won't mention on either front. But if people haven't checked these out, there's lots of good stuff to dig into. I'm hoping we have more from you in the world of Batman, of course.
My passport is still valid for the universe. I am working on something. I cannot say what I'm working on. It's we're into that world. But
Yes.
yeah, I live in Wisconsin, and the winter is generally when I get a lot of my writing done because I certainly am not going anywhere for most of the time. But yeah, my last convention of 2025, and it has been a long year that has taken me from Seattle to Greece, not in one trip, but to Europe and back, a week apart. Uh, and of course, then we did a big book launch tour for Revolution. And so yeah, my last event is GalaxyCon Columbus in first week of December. And then I think I'm off until Pensacon, which is in February in Pensacola. But and that'll be cool because at least one of the scheduled guests is Robert Wool, and again
Yes.
he's Alexander Knox, and one of the cool things about these books is we got to really give him a significant arc. And I think it flows through both books likewise, but I think it's a much bigger arc in the second book than the first that he gets. And so he's pivotal to a lot of these things. You can visualize that. Yeah, if this weren't just a couple of novels, but if this was like scripts for 5 years of a TV series or whatever, or something on the level of Batman the Animated Series, you could easily see a situation where Batman is contacting or being contacted by these regular characters: Harvey Dent, Commissioner Gordon, Alexander Knox, And then we added some more, supporting characters in the newsroom, and we added a coroner. We added the governor of the state, and we don't know what state it is, but she's not really happy about Gotham City at any point. But again, one could visualize that. Yeah, you'd see these characters. In different combinations in different stories.
Absolutely. Absolutely. May the creating continue. I'm excited to see what is next for you. And if I'm a listener and I want to follow and find out more, where might I do that?
I am on the web. My website is farawaypress.com. I hope to eventually get notes about these books on my website. Maybe that's something that happens here in the winter. I have an eBay store as well. Faraway Press is the address of that on there. The name of the store. We also have I'm John Jackson Miller on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. I am farawaypress.com on Blue Sky, and I am JJM Faraway on Twitter.
All right. Fantastic. Well, John, many thanks for the talk in the midst of your busy traveling season, and glad to have you back anytime.
All right, thanks very much.